Alright, so we're finally into the new year. Look forward to being able to get out of the house, hopefully, more. This is going to be a couple different things here. This is some things I was working on while taking a break. Some people had asked about GR-BAZ, and then in the process someone brought up a couple things about installing VirtualBox I thought would be good to point out. And then I always wanted to try GR-NTSC, I think it's called RC. And so anyways, let's dive right into it. I'll try and shorten this down. Whether you're using Linux like I am here, which is DragonOS Focal, or Windows, download the appropriate VirtualBox version and install that. I think with the Linux version you'll probably get a deb that downloads, fairly simple to install. You can see I was messing around with a few things here, but you do sudo dpackage-i VirtualBox for the appropriate version, in this case 20.04. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyways, let's see what else. Once you got that installed, another important thing is getting the VirtualBox extension pack installed. And once VirtualBox is installed, it'll probably prompt you to open it up, just like it's doing for me here. And I've already got it installed. So that's one thing, and the reason being is because you're going to want to be able to activate some of the other options here for USB. Otherwise you'll be stuck on USB 1.1 and nothing will really work. You at least want 2.0 or 3.0. In the case here I have USB 3, and I'll be using a b205 mini here in a second. Okay, so let's see. So that's fairly simple there. For this next couple demonstrations, I downloaded the older DragonOS LTS. The last one was just called publicfinal.iso. And let's see. So we can go through. So I set up a machine here and was already testing it. We can take a second here and just start typing in Ubuntu. It'll change it to Linux down at the bottom, and we can call it whatever, GR-BAZ 2. And so go close this tab out. We don't need all these advertisements. Whatever, I got about 4 gigs of RAM here. Create a virtual disk. Yep, dynamically allocated. I'll go ahead and bump it up a little here, just so I know there's enough space. And we created that GR-BAZ 2. Open backup settings. I'm going to up the processor some. And for now, we'll change storage. We'll go ahead and add and these same steps should be roughly the same on Windows. Choose a disk file. We'll put the publicfinal.iso we downloaded. We can go ahead and mark it as a live CD DVD, or you can leave it unchecked if you're going to install it. Let's see. So that should be good there. And yep, we might have to mention again ISO. And let me think. So one other thing, at least on Linux here, is once you install the VirtualBox, you need to make sure that your user is in the VirtualBox users group. So yeah, so sudo usermod-g VirtualBox users-a, and then your user, or slight variants on that command there, but basically just make sure your user is added to the group. Otherwise, it won't let you access the USB devices. Probably don't have to, really do that on Windows, but on here you do. So let's say you've got this running. You'd go ahead, you'd insert which we're not going to be able to do because this is a virtual machine. So, running from the live disk. So, I'm just going to make this simple. So you saw how I ran through and set it up. Now I'll just jump to the machine that's already installed and set up. Okay, so this isn't live per se. I have installed it, but what you'd want to do is, as you're getting this set up, you'd want to go ahead and do the devices, insert guest editions CD image into the machine, and then you could come in here. You should be able to click auto run, execute in terminal, and so I've already did this. But what you want to do is get the guest editions installed on the virtual machine as well, and then you'll have to do a reboot on it. And this should apply for the Windows too. So the main machine that you've got VirtualBox on, and then the virtual machine itself. So I'll go ahead and let this finish. I'll let that do it in the background, do its thing. And then another thing I did was, because this is DragonOS LTS, which is based on 1804, it's a little different, but you probably see it's a similar layout. You could go under Preferences, Monitor Settings, once you have all the guest things installed, and then you can bump up your resolution so you're not looking at this little tiny screen. Now let's see if this is finished. Okay, that's finished. We've got everything there. Close this out. Alright, so hopefully I went through that enough. Now we're going to jump right into two different things here. So let's see. So I've already got GR-BAZ installed, but just to show how simple this was, let that do its thing. You come to GR-BAZ. You can see right there it's got GNU Radio 3.7 as default, which GNU Radio 3.7 is in DragonOS LTS. So even if we just wipe this out, let's see. So I didn't do anything else except for install DragonOS LTS and then the guest tools. We'd come in here, we'd make a directory build, change into the build, and do cmake. Like I said, I didn't install anything additional. It probably most likely just happens to be that DragonOS LTS had everything that was needed. We could do make dash. Shouldn't take too long. And I should have pointed out, so after the guest editions was installed on both machines, that's what unlocked the USB 2.0, 3.0. And while this is doing its thing, because I want to go ahead and move this along, I just plugged in a b205 mini. So what we'll see up under here is the Cypress West Bridge, or at least in my case. And let's see, let this finish. Alright, it finished. Now we do sudo make install and sudo ld config. And we'll open this up. It's probably going to leave off where I was messing with something else I'll show here soon. Let's see. Close. Let's see, let's just open a new. And just so we can see here, oops, BAZ. You'll see now all the blocks are, or most of them anyways, are available. So as applications, ACARS, decoder, fast track, music, radar, let's see, so on and so forth. I'm not very familiar with these at all. There may have to be some other steps which he details out when you're doing some of the networking pieces. You might have to patch some things. But this would lead me to believe that some of these blocks work. The flow graphs, let's see, we'll close out of that. The flow graphs that are available in the various different places for some reason are all sorts of different, what I think for maybe older instances of GNU Radio, possibly even older than 3.7. If you have a look at the patch folder, if you want to, you can see right there you're looking at GNU Radio 3.3, 3.4, and if you look in the OP25 directory, there's a patch there. I went down that rabbit hole of pulling down a very old version of OP25 only to realize the whole thing was meant for a very old version of GNU Radio, at least what I understood. So you may be able to get some of the blocks and everything working. Definitely more available in 3.7 than 3.8. If you look at the source code, and I forget what file it is, you can see that it will install maybe one or two things if it detects GNU Radio 3.8, which to even get it to build for GNU Radio 3.h, you can see you'd have to change the symlink on the CMake file to 3.8 for one thing, and then even when I think I mentioned this in another video, even the 3.8 CMakes file, for some reason, if you open it and come down a little ways, it references, I think mistakenly, 3.9. So I had to change that to 3.8, and anyways, that's a whole nother thing. This is just meant to show how to install it on the DragonOS LTS. And I'm doing this video for a couple reasons. Show the VirtualBox, show this, but really what I've been always wanting to try, and we'll take a look at it, is the GR-NTSC-RC. So another way we could receive and decode video from analog 5 gigahertz drone cameras, which I happen to have one sitting here. So we're going to download this, and again, I've not done anything additional here. Matter of fact, I think it's already installed, so we'll just do it from scratch just to show how easy it is. Let's see. We'll do git clone and pull down the package here. Change into the GR-NTSC-RC. Make a build directory, change into the build, CMake. And I'm not having to use sudo or anything like that because I'm just in my home directory. A lot of times I stick some things in the user source. So of course you have to add sudo. Let's see, so alright, we'll build that and we'll install it. We'll do sudo ld config. And we'll change into the main directory, and I'm wanting to say it's in apps. No. Maybe it's in examples. And we'll do GNU Radio companion. Oops. NTSC video 5 gigahertz receive. Okay. You can see fairly simple. I'll just try to pull this over here so we can see what's going on. Oh, I guess I could just do that. Okay. We need to make some changes. First off, I'll pull open another terminal here, and I've got my b205 mini plugged in. As we can see up here. Getting it confused because I've got two different things here. But so USB, we got the Cypress West bridge. Okay, but here we go. But wait a minute, is this? Let's see. But when we do UHD find devices, it's going to load the firmware, and then it's going to not show any devices found, well, other than the audio there, but that's because we have to come back up here, and now we can see the EDIS popped up. And now we've got our b205 mini. All right, now let's come back to here. And I will be right back. I have to grab my notes. Okay. All right, I'm back. So we're going to make a couple changes. I open up this USRP source. I'm going to actually take it down to one channel. And we'll just disable this null sync and connect it to the bottom block. Let's see. I've got the drone camera, should be on. Okay, it should be on. And I know because I opened it up in SIGDigger or something else to kind of get an idea of the center line on the center frequency. So I'm going to open up frequency carrier, and I'm going to change this. And you could probably build a slider out and other different things, but this thing is kind of unique because it's not really set to generate no GUI. And let's see, what else did I change? I changed the bandwidth to 8 megs, which if you watch the sample rate and everything else, the math, it bumps it up. So I think if we run this, we've got to wait for the FPGA to load. Alright, so let's see. Alright, let me check a couple things here. 5.7. Let's see, I'm going to go in and we'll bump the, I just remember these messing with it last night. Let's bump the gain up. Let's try this. Alright, let's see, one more. Let's exit that. I don't think this has anything, but let me put that to 0. Aha! It was something like that. So there you go. That's and I actually, if you're wondering what this is the antennas from the RTL SDR. I just have the camera kind of propped up there for right now, but you can see pretty good video there. I've got let's see, the b205 mini is about a foot away. It's like pretty much real time. Let's see, I'm going to pick up the b205 mini. I've got it now about 2 feet away, and really that's about all I can do with the setup that I have right now. I'm actually really curious how far away this would work, but I've always been meaning to do that. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. So again, you'd have to identify the kind of the center line and then adjust the bandwidth. This just worked out for me. Be nice to, I wish this was updated to GNU Radio 3.8. But so, I mean, SDR Angel has a decoder, I guess you'd say, like this. But I don't know. Just, I mean, this seemed a lot easier. I'd have to do, see if I can make that any bigger. Yeah, so, yeah. All right, that's that. I hope everyone has a good 2021, and I'll be probably back once I get the ISO updated again. But I think that addressed everything that I wrote down here that people have asked. All right, have a good one.